What is a hidden talent of yours that most people might not know about?
I think in the next few months, trying to become a podcaster. So I'm going to do that.
Growing up, was there always a thought to get into real estate, or what was the spark which drove you into real estate?
I know back then it was called programmer, and the IT companies got rejected everywhere. 2001-2, I was busy studying GMAT to try and see if I can get out of this industry and go study and make a career in some other industry.
And what are your thoughts on the future of co-working and flex market?
I think various IPC reports put it between 16 to 20% of demand last year. So out of nowhere, from zero in 2016, after GCCs, is the second biggest space absorbing section. Going forward, I think industry will get consolidated. Sumit, I was quite lucky early on in my career of having bosses who made me think long term. Some trends which I'm seeing as going forward in the next 5 years, I think the big cities will have many micro market satellite cities being created within big cities. I think REITs will own most of institutional grade assets in the country.
How do you see the demand of such spaces evolving in the new era?
So we are a reasonably large size REIT. We have close to 37 million square feet in our portfolio.
We are back with another fascinating episode of the Corner Office, your window into the reality behind realty. There are industry leaders, there are authors, mentors, and social media influencers. Seldom do all those come together as one person. Today, I have the pleasure of welcoming the multifaceted Ramesh Nair, CEO of Mindspace REITs. Hi, Ramesh.
Thanks for having me.
Please. Ramesh, welcome to the Corner Office.
Thank you for having me, Sumit.
Ramesh, you are one of the most influential figures in our field, a man whose name has come to become synonymous with the real estate success. So today, our idea is to know the man who wears multiple hats and all with elan. I want to start and know more about your early life, your school life, your college life, and how did it shape to where you are today?
So 3 cities, Sumit, Cochin, Chennai and Mumbai. Those are 3 cities I lived in till I was 21. Mostly in Chennai and Cochin, middle class parents, and growing up in these 3 cities, you obviously learn a little bit of you become more adaptable, become social skills improve a little bit, but out and out middle class background. My father used to be an administration manager with a company called Blue Star Limited. So it was a large manufacturing company at that time. So that was the upbringing. Mother is a highly empathetic lady, maybe some skills on empathy from there. Father given all the hard work and focus and that resilience of middle class to do well. Fathers no more, but that's some values you learn from them. But I think anybody in middle class in India obviously inculcate that values of hard work and focus, a little bit of equality, that's again important, justice. So some of the value systems ingrained when I was young.
Got it. I always visualized you someone as a a cool dude who used to play music, guitar, or maybe bike. I think that's not you, or was it you?
Now I know you're trying to take some revenge on me, Sumit. So all the negotiations I've done with you all my life, you've decided that you're going to embarrass me. I'm just a guy next door, nothing special. A lot of what I would call the perfect storm, which happened in my career, which is for a career to actually take place. You have to be in a perfect storm. What's a perfect storm? You need good bosses. You need to be in an industry which is doing well. You need to be in markets which are doing well. You need a good company, a good brand. You need good colleagues, a good team. You need the economy to do well. And when I look at when has my career done well over the years, it's mainly when all these things fell into place. I still remember till 2002-3. Real estate, commercial real estate wasn't happening much. That's when the IT services, IT tech boom started happening in India. And then your career started skyrocketing. But till then, there was not much thing to say about your career. But so what I'm saying is, Sumit, all these things need to fall into place, and that's when you do well in a corporate life. So you have to be lucky that all these things. Obviously, you need the right attitude, but for the perfect storm, all these things need to come into play.
Yes, you're right. And growing up, was there always a thought to get into real estate, or what was the spark which drove you into real estate?
No spark at all to join real estate. I'd finished my graduation, started attending some interviews. I had attended interviews for bank teller jobs, medical rep jobs, programmer. I know back then it was called programmer, and the IT companies got rejected everywhere. That time I saw a nice ad in the paper of a company which sounded English and British. The name was Colliers. And I sent my resume. Resume at that time was basically all the subjects I had learned in BBA. It was 15 subjects, 5 subjects into 3 years. That is all you had in your resume. Today when I see resumes of youngsters, I'm like, I don't think I'll have that resume even at 30. I applied, got lucky. Ford was incidentally investing in Chennai. They were creating a large automobile manufacturing plant, and they had appointed Colliers to search for residential accommodation for their expatriates. There are around 40 expatriates coming into India, into Chennai. And my first job was to go find out nice houses in Chennai, independent houses, beach houses, where Ford expats can come in. So I got selected for that job. So there was no spark. Like I said, I still remember commercial real estate back in '96. The demand in the overall market in Chennai back then would have been 1 lakh square feet. Last year, Chennai did a crore of gross leasing, 1 crore square feet. That's a 100x growth. So that spark, that time no spark at all. Incidentally, I still remember 2002-3. I was busy. 2001-2. I was busy studying GMAT to try and see if I can get out of this industry and go study and make a career in some other industry. But then the industry started taking off in 2003. Bonuses started coming, promotions started coming, big salary hikes started happening. I still remember between 2003 and 2008, JLL was growing at a 72% CAGR. And again, the perfect storm, what I talk about, right person, right time, right place, right bosses, right industry, right teams, all falling into place at that time. So spark happened a little later. No plan to be in real estate, except that wanted to work for a nice multinational company which has a nice sounding name.
So, what's one piece of advice that has stayed with you throughout the years?
Well, I was quite lucky early on in my career of having bosses who made me think long term. People who immediately come to my mind include Mike Holland, who eventually went on to become the CEO of Embassy REIT. Santosh Martin, who's a very senior leader in your industry, works for WeWork. Hari Krishna, who works for heads CPPIB in India. So the importance of long-term thinking was ingrained very early on. 2-3 things which come to my mind is every day you need to be thinking of what are you doing to increase your network, increase your trust with your team, and increasing your client profile, which is the network again. That's something which is stayed, that continuous learning. When you go back home in the evening, I still try and think of what did I learn today. It's also the gratitude thing at least, that there are days which are bad. That time if you just think that, okay, I learned this today, I learned these 5 things during the week, I think it makes you look good. It's very, very important that, again ingrained by my first set of leaders, that you need to have a team which is high on performance and high on values. Both those things need to come together. That's something I've always kept in mind, and all thanks to my early bosses in my career.
That's a great piece of advice. I think within our industry, network and trust is what's going to, drive growth for an individual. Perfect. And you are one of the industry's top voices, online and offline. What inspired you to dive into social media, especially LinkedIn, to share your ideas and opinions?
I would say a lot of that credit, Sumit, goes to my marketing teams, my communication teams, who kind of encouraged me to post very early on. I still remember, I think LinkedIn came in 2008-9 and managed to get in at that time itself into LinkedIn. Used to post a lot more. Now I've kind of reduced the amount of posts. Initially it was to try and see how you can increase your network. It was being in a professional services firm like JLL, you had to build your number of clients, you had to build talent attraction, talent acquisition becomes very important. So it was earlier only for client acquisition and talent acquisition. Last few years I try and see if I can share some life lessons, if I can share some leadership lessons. Eventually, I hope I can do some mentoring and coaching using social media. I was very lucky in my career to have mentors like Anuj Puri, who was always there to guide and coach me. And if I can do that back for youngsters, that'll be something nice I would like to do going forward.
Right. So talking about our sector in the commercial real estate, there has been seismic shifts over the last couple of years due to the rise of hybrid work culture, a very strong focus on sustainability and technology. At Mindspace Business Parks REIT, has been at the forefront of driving a lot of these transformations, and there is a lot of focus on Grade A spaces. How do you see the demand of such spaces evolving in the new era?
So we are a reasonably large size REIT. We have close to 37 million square feet in our portfolio. One of the biggest trends, Sumit, I've seen is consolidation of the industry. Just like in your industry, I remember a few years back, your industry had 500 players. Today, we have taken an internal call that within our portfolio, we would deal with maybe 5 or 6 of the top co-working / managed operating players with people like you. So huge amount of consolidation happening in our industry also. If I look at how many developers in the country today have a multi-city strategy, the list would be less than 15. I remember doing this analysis a while back when I was in professional services. It used to be around 30, 35. That number has dropped to actually 15 developers today have more than out of Creda has 15,000 developers as members in their thing. So industry has become very consolidated. Customer needs are changing hugely. Our tenants, when I mean customers, our tenants post-COVID, there's been so much of changes. You remember what happened in 2020 where demand kind of dropped. We had the best year in 2019, 45 million square feet net absorption. That dropped to 22 million square feet. We didn't know what was going to hit us. I remember talk to you and Amit at that time, not knowing what to do. You didn't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So industry has gone through so much of changes. What comes to my mind today is companies have realized that work from home won't work. You saw Jamie Dimon's interview recently on working from office. Today, all our IPC friends tell us that office occupancy attendance, which they track because they manage huge portfolios, has crossed the 85% mark. In our portfolio, I can say that it's already crossed the 75% mark. So 75% of the people are coming back to work at least 3 days a week. So that's something we are seeing. In terms of clients want to create more collab zones in their spaces. They want more digitally enabled spaces. The key focus for clients is how do we give our employees more freedom and more flexibility. And that's kind of reflecting in their interiors, whether it's the collab zones, digitally enabled spaces, new age workstations, flexible workstations. And that's also pushing us to kind of change our designs to kind of suit that. A big trend we have noticed and which we've been trying to do in the last 2-3 years has been increasing the number of amenities we can offer, increasing the number of F&B we can have in our amenities. Simple things like we did a survey amongst our clients asking what are the top 5 amenities you need out of, we have 210 occupier clients. And these clients told us these are the 5 things which is must have. Now we are making sure all our projects have these must have 5s, plus the other 10-15 extras which you can provide. So a lot more focus today on air quality, indoor air quality, which was not there. We wouldn't use terms like IAQ 5 years back. Today we use that. Lot more focus today on touchless features. So lot of changes. This is my 26th year in commercial real estate. I think the last 4 years have been the most transformative in that 26 years. It's like, I think the other biggest transformation was 2002-03, when the big IT services and IT tech clients started looking for office space. I think this is probably even bigger than that, some of these changes we saw now.
So Mindspace has also made significant strides in sustainability. Could you throw some light on the importance of ESG in the real estate sector?
We take ESG very, very seriously, Sumit. I still remember just before I joined, I met up with some of the IGBC founders, and they were telling me that our group, the K. Raja Corp group, were the people who kind of were the pioneers in this way back in 2006-07. When others are not talking about ESG so the journey has been there for like nearly 18 to 20 years now. Now within the ESG, we take all three E, S and G very seriously. What do I track on a monthly basis? I track if our renewable energy percentage of the overall energy, that's kind of increasing. DJSI scores is something we track on a quarterly basis. We take GRESP scores very seriously. All our 10 assets in the REIT have undergone climate risk assessment. Almost 95% of our key suppliers have gone through ESG training and supplier code of conduct. 37% of our senior management are women. Today, our leasing team is evaluated on a quarterly basis of how many green leases are they signing. So multiple parameters. We have a checklist. We go through that. We have a ESG committee which meets every fortnight to see how we are doing in each one of these fronts and to track to make progress. So we are learning all the time. Last year, one of our big learnings was also we did a SLB with IFC of World Bank. IFC is a part of the World Bank Group. SLB stands for Sustainability Linked Bond. We got a great rate, 7.9%. But what's unique about this bond is every time we improve on some of our sustainability deliverables, like reducing greenhouse gas emissions, reducing energy intensity, increasing the green portfolio, green component within the portfolio, our interest rates come down. So that's something very unique. We were the first developers in the country to do that. So we are trying to push the pedal on ESG. Every time there is something new happening, we want to be in the forefront of implementing that. Other than all our assets being evaluated on climate risk assessment, we've also got all our assets to be certified by British Safety Council for safety standards. So all 10 of our assets, business parks are part of that. We recently also won the S&P DJSI top 10 REITs in the world in terms of ESG compliance. So all those initiatives are going on, Sumit.
Yeah. Ramesh, you had a long stint with IPC, with JLL, Colliers, and then now you're on the developer side. So you have a very holistic, perspective. What trends or challenges do you think will define the industry over the next 5 years?
Sumit, you know this better than me. It's never a dull moment in real estate. I still remember 2016 when we had the demonetization, how the industry came to a standstill. 2017 GST RERA happened again. Industry became very slow. 2018 you had the big NBFC crisis, which kind of brought all of us. There was hardly any financing available in the market at that time. 2019 was one of those years where things were looking normal, and we were just hoping 2020 is going to be good, and then COVID happened. So we all need to realize that we live in a VUCA world. Managing that economic uncertainties, managing that business uncertainties have become part and parcel of our life. I was just looking at inflation, for example. The last 4 years, steel prices have gone up like 50%. RMC concrete prices have gone up again 50%. Labor in many markets have gone up 100 to 150%. So how do you manage all this, still able to get the right product, right price into the market, which is competitive, which is where your clients can afford to pay? All that becomes important. Some trends which I'm seeing is going forward in the next 5 years. I think the big cities will have mini micro market satellite cities being created within big cities. Today you look at Bangalore, Whitefield acts like a satellite city to Bangalore. It's a unique city. It's part of Bangalore, but it has its own dynamics. Noida to in the NCR region again is a great example. That's definitely a trend I see catching up. Huge amount of consolidation will happen in the sector, which is again driven by institutional capital. Lack of finance is still a challenge for most 90% of the developers in the country. And I spoke about how we, being a Mindspace REIT with a very strong sponsor, K. Corp, are benefiting from that consolidation and institutionalization of space. I also truly believe that premium spaces will command more rentals. Premium developers will get that extra valuation. So premiumization becomes very important, and we are following that path. Hotelization is something again which is going to happen. Clients are going to insist, can I get a hotel kind of service in my office building? Does it look and feel like a hotel building? That's again something which we are focusing on. So these are some of the big trends I see happening over the next few years.
So how would you compare India's commercial real estate market with other global markets? Where do you think are strengths and areas for improvement?
I was looking at the numbers, Sumit, of last 5 years absorption, net absorption, US versus India. I was amazed to see the kind of numbers. In US in the last 5 years, the net absorption was negative, I repeat, negative 250 million square feet. In India in the last 5 years was positive 180 million square feet. So clear difference there in terms of absorption. You know, all the sectors contributing to the absorption, that's a big one. You look at the markets like US, more developed markets, buildings are older. We have a lot more newer buildings. Our commercial real estate story itself is only around 22, 23 years old, like I said, from 2002 onwards. We have cleaner buildings, newer buildings, more ESG compliant buildings. So all the differences, but in terms of similarities, REIT institutionalization, which is happening here, is something which has been in the US. US has had REITs since 1960. Right. So you're talking of like 60 years of REIT being there. In India, we've had it only since 2019. So the market cap of all the REITs in the US is close to $2 trillion, which is again, so we've seen that happen in India over a period of time. I think REITs will own most of institutional grade assets in the country. Again, in those markets, demand is being driven by tech, like our demand is being driven by GCCs and tech. So that's again a similarity. So these are some of the things, I mean, when you compare the Western markets with India.
Right. And what are your thoughts on the future of co-working and flex market as per the Indian context?
I still remember, Sumit, when I met you and Amit in 2016, you had like a handful of, I think, single-digit centers, and we were happy at that time that we could service you back then and get you a few centers in different parts of India, if I remember right. I think Bombay and Pune at that time. Today, just look at yourself. You're what, 130,000 plus seats, 200 plus centers. I think that just shows the penetration of your industry. So 17, I think various IPC reports put it between 16 to 20% of demand last year. So out of nowhere, from zero in 2016 to today, 16 to 20%. And all the IPC reports I saw that after GCCs is the second biggest space absorbing section. Going forward, I think industry will get consolidated. I think the top 10, 15 players will do much better than the balance 350 players in the sector. Players like us will want to partner with these top 5, top 10 players in the sector. I think pay-per-use as a concept will catch up. I think which you have done very well, which others haven't done. I think many managed office and co-working players will also move into tier 2 cities, which is where there's definitely demand going to. I was just looking at some of these cities like Coimbatore, Cochin, where demand is crossed the 15 lakh square feet mark. I've never seen these cities have that kind of demand in my last 26 years in the sector. So I think these are some of the things. Every client today wants to have a regular conventional office strategy, but he also wants to have a flex strategy where there is a little more flexibility he gets, whether it's in terms of lock-in periods, whether capex where he doesn't want to spend. So there is always room for. I wouldn't be surprised if a few developers also get into the co-working business. So these are some of the trends I foresee in the future.
Yeah. So you have been a very early evangelist of the sector. Thank you for doing that. And moving on, what's one trend in real estate which you never anticipated, and how are you adapting to it?
I remember standing on stage in 2008, and I was in Chennai at that time. I was the head of Chennai. We had just seen a record year of 7.2 million square feet absorption, and I was standing on stage at a large CIF function and saying, next year we're going to see an absorption of 9 million square feet. And you saw that 7.2 come to 2.5. So I still remember making some predictions in 2019 when we saw that 45 million square feet absorption, and next year it came down to that 22 million square feet. So there is a lot of things we have not been able to predict right. Your sector, I don't know, the co-working managed office sector is going to become 18% of the overall demand. I would have thought 5%. In our portfolio, it's still 6.6% of our overall lease portfolio in the REIT. So a lot of times you get things wrong. GCC, what we're seeing today, GCC demand in India is like 40% of all office absorption. Previously, I still remember I started off in research when I started my professional services journey writing. We used to call it remote processing sector. We used to use terms like medical transcription, call centers, all that. Today, every company has a center of innovation. It's some of the best R&D work. We recently acquired an asset where a client has its most high-end lab facilities in the world in doing chip design in Hyderabad. So there's so much of high-end knowledge work happening in India. So truly it's become knowledge hubs. And we are constantly learning from all the office markets on what to do, what not to do. There's so much to learn from US market, Singapore market, so that we can get our prediction. So nowadays I predict less than what I used to before.
Let's move to our rapid fire round. With your ability to think quickly on your feet, I'm sure this will be a cakewalk for you. Chennai or Mumbai?
I would pick both. Chennai makes you grounded. Mumbai makes you ambitious, so I'll pick both.
Nice. What's your favorite podcast?
I want to actually reduce the amount of time I spend watching podcasts. Actually, I just was thinking when I saw this question that every weekend a lot of time is consumed in watching podcasts. I've seen those Nikhil Kamat's podcasts, really good, top class. I think truly global standard podcasts. Raj Shamani does a fantastic job. Internationally, again, Piers Morgan. He does a Joe Rogan, everybody watches that. I don't watch all the episodes. I watch some of the key episodes which come out. Mehdi Hassan does a fantastic job. Howard Stern again has a lot of good podcasts, and from now onwards I'll follow Sumit Lakhani's podcast going forward. So watch a lot of podcasts. I want to reduce the amount of time I spend watching podcasts.
A change that you have been longing to see in real estate?
When I got into the sector, Sumit, the change we wanted at that time was when is the industry going to become professional? When is the industry going to become institutional? When is the sector going to become more transparent? All that has actually happened in the last 25 years right in front of our eyes. So no complaints. There are a lot of people. I was just seeing the Knight Frank Global CEO's interview, and he was sitting in front of some of the assets in Hyderabad, office buildings, and this is last week I saw that. He was saying the assets here are as good as or better than the office assets globally. So we've reached there. If there's one change I would want, Sumit, I think all the stakeholders, from government to developers to everybody, need to come together to improve the amount of affordable housing which you should be creating in this country, because you've seen all those numbers, 30 million units required and 40 million units required of affordable housing. I think as an industry, we are not doing enough for creating that sheer supply of affordable housing in the country.
Yeah. If not real estate, what would you have done?
I think I'll become a podcaster like you. That's something I want to maybe try and do, but maybe I would have loved to be a sports coach. A lot of similarities between a leader in a large organization and a sports coach, talent management, continuous learning, motivating talent. So that would have been a good alternate profession.
Yeah. Which of the newest segments of real estate are you most bullish on?
I think offices today become a very, very institutionalized asset class. You've seen some of the largest global funds, Blackstone, Brookfield, CPPIB, Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, Bain Capital, all these people having large exposures. I think the next big sunrise sectors are definitely industrial and data centers. Industrial, we still have less than 400 million square feet of grade A and grade B space, compared to US, which has like 12 billion square feet. Our 400 million versus 12 billion square feet. So that's, we have 20% of the world population. So that's definite room for growth. Data centers, again, with all the digitalization happening, all the data localization which will happen, all the cloud happening, generative AI happening, I think definitely that sector will also, that asset class will also do well.
What's one piece of advice you would give your 18-year-old self?
At 18, I was having a lot of fun. I was not very focused on studies. I think maybe tell myself at that time I should have been a little more hardworking and focused, and tried getting some scholarship for international education or something. I think that's an advice I keep thinking once in a while.
Yeah. So what is a hidden talent of yours that most people might not know about?
I think in the next few months, trying to become a podcaster. Okay. So I'm going to do that. Watching all these podcasts and seeing you do such a fantastic job today, I want to become a podcaster.
A book that you think everyone should read?
I have a leadership coach, a fantastic leadership coach, and a few months back, he recommended this book called The Inner Game of Tennis by Inner Game of Tennis by Tim Gallwey. Is the author, a must-read book. It actually talks about how sports people, especially tennis stars, you need to keep winning point after point after point after, and how do they keep that mental strength to perform at the highest level. I'm sure some of your viewers would have seen Federer talk about in the Dartmouth speech. He spoke about how he's won only 54% of the points but won 82% of the matches. So how do you have that mental strength to keep winning? And one key lesson I learned from that book is, typically sports people, they don't think about the match, they don't think about the game, they don't think of their career, they just think of the next shot, not even the next point. They think of the next shot, they're just focused on hitting the ball back to the opponent's court in the next. So nice book, Tim Gallwey's The Inner Game of Tennis, must read.
What message would you like to share with youngsters contemplating joining real estate?
Couple of things. I think in the first 2 years, Sumit, any youngster joining real estate, he should be like a sponge. He should be a researcher. He should try to get as much knowledge as possible. Money will come if you have patience. So that's my key thing. So be like a sponge, be a researcher. What you do today, you'll get a buck today, but you'll get a buck tomorrow also. So think long term.
So that was fantastic, Ramesh. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and experiences with us. As always, talking to you is a learning experience.
Thanks, Sumit, for inviting me on your show. Thank you.
That brings us to the end of another exciting episode of the Corner Office. I am your host, Sumit Lakhani. Stay tuned for more insightful interactions coming your way.